Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, May 24th, 2020. Happy Memorial Day to those of us in America who celebrate, and happy Sunday to all of you. If you're new to my podcast, you are welcome. Welcome. And those of you who are coming back, thank you so much for joining me again. I appreciate you so much. And please feel free to share, whether you found me on Spreaker, YouTube, or Facebook. Please subscribe, please share, if you feel that you benefit from this podcast. Also, feedback is always welcome. I'll always consider it if you have an idea. And I always appreciate the positive feedback that I tend to get every week. Thank you so much. It helps me because sometimes you don't know, even if you have great intentions, how it's going, if what you're doing really is meaningful. So I do appreciate the feedback very much. It matters. So thank you. Also, for those of you who are new to me, please check out my website at lisahopp.com. That's lisahopp.com. I am a spiritual coach. I'm an intuitive coach. I am a medium. I am a healing teacher and author of a couple very small but hopefully helpful books. So please check out my website, and you are welcome to make an appointment. I'm currently taking appointments only by telephone and Zoom. But with those two entities, especially Zoom, you can make an appointment from anywhere in the world. And I really like that. I love Zoom. I was very uncomfortable with it at first. It's new to me using it. But it's my most enjoyable method of connecting with my clients now. So I would love if you made an appointment for any of the services that you see on my website, except for like a gathering in your home or a local visit to your home, because I have one that's a home tour, so to speak, if you have some local energy in your home. Those two are out right now, and any healing is out for right now too. But everything else is available by Zoom, so please consider it. Even groups are available by Zoom right now, so please check it out. I would love it. I would love if you booked. I would love to meet you. And if you're due for an appointment, please come back. So, thank you so much for joining me this Sunday. I have to say, this topic was a little bit harder. There's so much that I think to talk about during the week. And I go, yeah, do that. And then when I come down to Saturday and Sunday and really thinking about the topic, I sometimes don't know what topic's the most appropriate way to go, what's the most important. I do use my intuition at times, but sometimes, it's early on a Sunday and I'm not sure where to go. But the one thing that always stands out to me every week is something that I honestly say every week. And that is the understanding that I've really come to, is that this understanding is that really pretty much all of us on this earth have no idea how valuable we are. Not only are you enough, but you're more than enough. Who you are, where you came from. We tend to nowadays especially be very divisive, and we separate ourselves into tribes or classes, economic statuses. I guess that, is once again applying to statuses. And there are people that look down upon another, and there are people that look up to another. I don't do any of that, by the way, especially looking up at someone. I don't look down either, because we're all in our place. All of us are where we are, and we're also equal in the eyes of our great Creator, and equally loved and our inside of our bodies are pretty equal too. We're all made the same. Some of us are walking around without a gallbladder or appendix or a kidney, but we're all really come here with the same equipment, and all of us really do need each other. There would not be one wealthy person on this earth that would get there completely alone. And there is not one person that is struggling right now financially that would be able to get through it alone. And both of those are all right. That's the way it's supposed to be. We're all supposed to be a village. We're all supposed to count on each other. We're all really supposed to come to the reminder every day that we're really one. That we're one. And I think we logically, consciously, emotionally tend to forget that at times, especially nowadays. And lately, over the last bit of time, maybe over the last couple hundred years, we've forgotten that or more. Maybe to the history of our civilizations, we've forgotten that, but it's always there. It always comes up again as a reminder, through the events of our life, through the events of our earth. There's always a reminder. It's always like a little shout out from that higher source that, hey, everyone, remember, this one you have to get through together. This one, you can't do it alone. And so it's like a little divine whisper or a divine shout, depending on what's happening. Whether it be having to come together to fight one evil entity or coming together to fight a virus. It's coming together, and it's a reminder to who we truly are and who we're meant to be. But back to these divisions that we tend to have in these classes and in our lives, and it can be easy, isn't it? I was just looking at groups earlier because my good friend keeps inviting me to a group, and can't seem to work out getting in this group. It's a really cool group too. But I was seeing some of the groups out there, some of the little tribes, little cliques, and one or two are quite negative, and they wanted to band together to kind of stew in their negativity together. And I just felt compassion for that. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel any other lower emotion. I just looked at it and went, oh, I feel compassion that there's a choice being made to be in that group, to stew in that, they're stewing and enjoying being their lesser selves, and so that's a shame because they're missing out. But I'm not looking down on them. I'm not feeling pity for them. I try to feel compassion. And sometimes it's hard to feel compassion because people can test us. Our fellow humans, well, they're supposed to test us, to be honest. Our family's supposed to test us. Our friends are supposed to test us at times to become the greater version of ourselves. That's why we're here on this earth. Because heaven's easy. That other realm is easy. It has just love and joy and mercy and adoration. So we got to come to this boot camp of earth in order to grow into our greatest version of ourselves. What I mean by that is overcome those obstacles and win those trials and grow that empathy and grow that compassion and grow that integrity and grow the courage and grow the strength and resilience. We do it here. We have to do it here because it's the best place to do it. So that's why life is beautiful and amazing, because we get to look back at it one day and go, wow, I did. I may not have done it to the extent that I wanted to, but I did conquer some things. I did grow, didn't I? And And that's what it's really all about. It's the game of life. That's why it is a game, life. Because we are playing roles and we are getting over obstacles and we are figuring how to sidetrack obstacles, and we are learning lessons and making decisions that sometimes are not great for us, but oftentimes are the best for us. And we are all winners. We are all winners. And then we pass and we go, oh, but could have done it better. And I could have been a victor even a little bit more. But it's important for you to know that you're already worthy and deserving and a victor now. You're already a winner now. Please know that in your own mind. You're definitely seen that way by your departed loved ones and your angels and your spirit guides and all those beings and humans that have gone before you. They know who you are. They know who you truly are. And they love you. There are people on this earth. Some of them are just your average Joe that goes to work, and some are very powerful people. And you can see by their actions they're just looking for love. They're just saying, please love me. I'm going to be something, but please love me. And it's so, they'll test us, those people, because sometimes someone who is really screaming for love can treat their fellow human beings awful, and I look at them and I go, oh, they just weren't loved enough. And I can't let them trigger me. I have to find a way to give them compassion, to give them love, understanding. Does it mean that I have to be a part of their tribe? It doesn't mean that I have to act like them. I shouldn't act like them if I see something that isn't me. But, the people that are the most awful to us in this world, and the most awful to this world, are the people that need the love the most. They need love the most. So it's our job to turn that cheek and to give it to them in any way that we can. And that's healthy to do, and that is the highest vibrational way to live, and it will bring us the greatest reward in every way. It'll make us winners even more. We win the game of life. So here's another wonderful thing that I really wanted you to know when I got on today. And that is that you are enough, yes, and you're more than enough. And some of us during this time, I know here, I'm in New Jersey area, we're still coming out of our quarantine. It's getting a little bit looser. But I'm still being a homebody because it's not to be rushed. But, there are many that have been struggling with being at home and having so much responsibility. Some are doing it all at this time. They're working from home, they're a teacher, they're raising their children full time, they're everything. They're the CEO of their lives, they're the worker of their lives. They're doing it all. And it can be very overwhelming. But it's so important to know that if you have a day where you feel inundated and overwhelmed, I just want you to remember that the next day you can always begin again. Take each day as a day. Even more perfectly, take it in the moment. Because that's what we're here for. In this game of life, we're here to create our future today. So today, on Sunday, May 24th, or whenever you discovered this podcast, you can start on that day to begin to create your future anew. And how do you do that? Well, first I want you to understand and know that today you are just a product of where you came from. Today you are the product, the definition of your past. You created up to this point. And when you were very early on, when you were just a seedling, you were being given all your programming by your mother while you were in the womb, and by then your parents when you were out of the womb, your family, your friends, your teachers, the neighbor, whomever you came in contact with, formed you. Because when we're very young, we're too young to be able to differentiate between what we should absorb in and let program us and what we shouldn't. We just suck it all in. We just take it all in. And it compiles into who we are, who we become, until we consciously realize that and start taking steps to reprogram and recreate ourselves. Every honest billionaire, trillionaire now we're getting to, and that's a whole nother podcast perhaps about that, about someone who can make that in this world today. But those who are the wealthiest and truly are the wealthiest, they had to overcome their own programming, their surroundings. And even those you may look at and go, oh, they had silver spoons. Do not assume. Because everybody, even those who are given wealth, still need love, still need to be able to trust, still need emotional security, still need affection, still need expression. And so they start off just like all of us, with probably something missing. But the one thing that they do have is the capability to overcome that and to have more success. We all every day have the ability to recreate ourselves. And some of the greatest among us recreate themselves. Muhammad Ali, the great fighter, that was, a little bit before my time, but such a great role model during his time. He used to always say, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. And he once said in an interview that I started saying that before I was the greatest, because I had to believe it first. He had to come to know he was the greatest, and then he became the greatest. He created his life to become known as the greatest. And it didn't matter, and it doesn't matter today what bouts he won as a fighter or what bouts he lost. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They just accept him as the greatest. It is about the power of your mind. It is about perception. Who you think you are is who you are in this world. It doesn't matter what others say. It doesn't matter what others give you. It doesn't matter what town you were born in, where you were raised, where you live now, how much money you have now. If you start to believe what is truth, and that is that you are more than enough and you are capable of whatever you set your mind to, you start to accomplish that. If you walk around feeling yourself and seeing yourself sitting on a yacht in a bay, you have everything you need to start to make it happen. Yes, you do have to take action. You do have to look for the yacht. You do have to go towards what would make you the wealth to get that yacht. Or perhaps you're led to the drawing that gets you the yacht by winning it. But the circumstances will line up and you say yes. And sometimes there are hurdles. And sometimes There are things we can't really understand about twists and turns, but inevitably, what you believe, what you know, what you say, what you feel arrives. And so that's why it's so important at this time to work on your perceptions. If you walk around thinking that the government's an enemy to you, or people are trying to lock you down, you're going to get circumstances that provoke more of that. And just symbolically, you may feel locked down in your choices about what job you have, or locked down in what you can achieve monetarily, or locked down in what you can achieve with your health and your body weight. It's not just about one area. And so we have to make sure that we are open and alert to what's happening, but that we don't lock ourselves or block ourselves in narrowing or limited perceptions, because truthfully, it's not the truth. It's not the truth. We're not prisoners. We're not, just because I've been told to stay more at home doesn't mean I'm a prisoner of my home. It is my perception and how I choose to use this time and what survival I wish to implement, to learn from it, to grow from it, to healthfully deal with it. And so while we are the product of our past, the amazing gift that was given to us and that we chose before we came to this earth was to take that product, that definition of ourselves, and recreate it or learn about it and start to recreate it every day. To take what's given to us and mold it. Mold it into something greater, bigger, better, more beautiful than it ever was when it came. While we have helpers on the other side that are watching us and just smiling and saying, look at her, look at him. How amazing. They don't even know they're perfect. And we adore them. But we're watching them figure it all out and work hard at it and create and learn, and they're enjoying us when we get the ahas and all those creative juices flowing. They love it. They love us when we understand how free we are, and they love watching us come together and be one. They adore it. They love watching us during this time, trying to navigate these new waters. And so know that you're loved no matter what, but your journey here on earth is about learning to love you and learning to create what you feel is the ideal you, and knowing that you do inside of you have all the tools, all the abilities, and can acquire all the beliefs to do that. There are so many people this Sunday, not a lot, not as many as you would imagine, but there are people this Sunday that live in fear, that have a need and a want to gather together in a building at this time, whether it's safe or not. And because they feel, I've got to be in church, I've got to be in church. Now, if you were to corner them a bit, ask them solely, do you think that God is just in that church? They know that's not the truth. They know that God is everywhere. And your relationship with God is very private, very intimate, and it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be out there. You're not supposed to pray for people to see you pray. It's really supposed to be, it's meant to be a very intimate, personal, unique relationship. And it can be conducted anywhere. You can have the strongest relationship. I think my strongest relationship with heaven at this time has been from my home, from my backyard, or as some call it, my garden. by walking in the park. Prayer is done anywhere and everywhere. So I feel it's unfortunate that people live in that fear, and that's where it stems from. It's a fear. We've got to do it. And then some are also led by money. But I'm not going to single any of them out with that. I'll just say that it's some of this desire to come together is not a holy alliance, not a holy reason, but I'm not judging it. It is wanted that we know that we are divine beings and that we can have that connection to that source at any time and grow from it. And that we grow by how we treat our fellow man and what we ask for and define for ourselves. And it doesn't matter if you are going to Mass or synagogue or any service on Sunday morning or Sunday evening. It doesn't matter. What matters is within your heart, within your soul, within your mind. That's what matters. And that source that looks upon you every day and never leaves you alone for 1 second knows how large you are, how divine you are, and how perfect you are. And while you sit here on this earth, or stand here, or kneel on this earth, being overwhelmed and trying to figure out how to do it all, how to survive until next week, worrying and having anxiety perhaps at this time because the help hasn't arrived in the way that you need it to. I want you to just keep in mind, and on a human level, is it fair? No. But on a divine level, the people that love you in heaven know that not only will you get through this time with their assistance as needed, that you're going to come out of it greater, that you're going to grow, that you're going to find out things about yourself that you didn't know before. And they know that's what it's all about. And you can turn to them and you can say, I'm having a really bad day or a really bad week. I need to know you're near. I need to know that I have you, and they will let you know. They may let you know in the next minute, in the next day, within the week. And it can be through a sign, it can be through a lucid dream, it can be through help arriving sooner than you thought it would in that next second, out of nowhere. But they never abandon us. But sometimes they're just supposed to watch while we find out how large we are. And so while all of us can feel very much alone at times, and all of us can feel grief and anger and frustration, even in those moments when we feel the most alone, we're not. You can say it out loud, you can say it silently, but you can ask for help. You can ask, and it will always be given to you. Maybe not in your own timing, because sometimes they want us to grow a little bit more, but you'll always receive it. And always you will look back over the past and you'll say, wow, look how far I've come. I want you to know that about this time too. There will be a time, probably a year from now, when you look back and go, wow, look at that. And I see now, and I feel, and I know how different I am now, and what I'm able to do now. You made mountains into molehills. You're in the process of that now. And there's also something very important to know, is that energy, when I've told you a couple times during this podcast, I don't judge because I know better. Do I go to sometimes? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's hard not to at times. I can be triggered. I'm triggered by hate and people that are just mean. But I know better than to judge, so I stop myself. Because the energy that created us in its image does not judge us. Is not disappointed. So when you have moments where you're like, I can't do this anymore, I need an escape, no one's going, oh come on, you're letting us down, oh come on, you're failing. No, you're getting more love at that moment. More love. So how do we feel it? How do we know it? You've got to take a second or a moment, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to center yourself. Even if you have to go in the bathroom. I remember there was a time in my life, it was over 20 years ago. I was very overwhelmed. So I'd go into the bathroom because that was the only place I could go where nobody would be in the room with me. I would sit on the toilet and, people would leave me alone. And it gave me the opportunity to center myself. And I would actually, one time I even saw a person go across my bathroom mirror as if I was joined. And I assumed it was an angel, and it probably was. But someone was there with me to comfort me, to be with me. I would feel the caress in the hair. I would feel the consolation. I would feel the strength. So perhaps for you it is the bathroom as well, or the shower. Or can you just get outside for a moment and let the kids go play in the backyard while you kind of sit there and center yourself? Whatever it is that you give yourself a moment of peace, that's essential. And all you have to do at that time, if you need to, is say, help, help. And it will come. It will come in some way. It has to. It's your divine right. When you ask, you receive. But it's also good for you, just mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You're allowed to stumble, and you're allowed to ask, and you're supposed to take care of yourself, because you matter most of all. You. If you're not working properly, you can't help any other people on this earth. And we're all supposed to. We're not supposed to be here being a hermit and being all alone. Just in case you don't know, you matter to the role of this earth. You matter to this earth. You matter. The earth would not be the same without you. You play a part. And you may not be able to fathom logically, consciously what that part could be. But that's what the joy that we find out. That's the information we get when we transition, when our body is done. You are placed in roles that make a difference. So you have to be here, and you have to be functioning happily and healthfully in order to be able to do the role that you were sent to do and that you volunteered to do. When a stranger crosses your path, that's always divine. When you feel called to change your employment, that's always divine. Yes, you create. But you are a peg in the wheel. All of us play a part. All of us are equally important to life, to this civilization. Nobody doesn't play a role. Nobody is non-essential. Nobody. So lift up your shoulders and think about what role you want to play, because you can play whatever you set your mind to. And if you feel it's a calling, it is. So it's just so important to know how important you are. And that those times that you are coasting along and you're in love and you can see life working for you, those moments are just as beautiful as the moments where you're on the kitchen floor wanting to escape. Both are equally looked upon lovingly. Both are equal in their evolution of you. And so give yourself that self-love, that understanding, that knowing that it's all right to have a bad day, and it's all right to be wealthy, and it's all right to be in love, and it's all right to want to take great vacations, and it's all right to do whatever your mind and heart tell you that you want to do. It's allowed, it's wanted. Because even those moments when you're on vacation, you are still playing a role on this earth. You are still making a difference. You equally matter. So, please today know how important you are. Know how large you are. Know that everything that happens in your life, everything you choose, everything you wish to experience, every moment you have that's up and every moment that you have that's down, there is a divine purpose to it. You are creation in process. And the greatest moments you will experience are the ones where you went from the knees on the kitchen floor to standing on top of the world, because you'll see that you did it. And it's all right then, after you reach the top, to get on the kitchen floor again. Life is a roller coaster ride. It's meant to be ups and downs. It's not meant to be so hard that you can't enjoy it, but it's also not meant to be so easy you can't learn from it. Not one person on this earth, not even a Dalai Lama, has enlightenment 24 hours a day. Mother Teresa admitted she had dark nights of the soul. Allow yourself to be human, but also equally allow yourself to be a divine master being. Allow yourself to be who you are today, and then tomorrow begin again. And there's your topic. Beginning again. Who you are today is who you were yesterday. Who you are tomorrow is who you decide to be today. Make it magnificent. Now, I've written 2 books that help you with affirmations and the understanding of gratitude, because gratitude and how we speak and how we think, how we feel, our perceptions, they create our life. And I wanted to give you tools So if you have not read those books, if you have not come across them, they're on Amazon. They're also available through my website. Yes, they're both available still. I'm looking at my stock. But they're always available through Amazon. Quick, check them out. They're here to help you. And please follow me. If you liked this podcast today, please follow me, like, share. I would love it. And also, please feel free to give me feedback. I appreciate it so much. And I send you warmest thoughts, many blessings. And what I said today during this long 40 minutes, almost 41 minutes, it was supposed to be, by the way, a shorter podcast today. But what I said to you was all truth. Believe it, know it, affirm it. I'm rooting for you. I'm cheering you on. And I am loving you for where you are right now and smiling at where you're going. I believe in you. Believe in you. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those in America, a wonderful, healthy, happy, safe Memorial Day. To those of you who have lost loved ones during war, I send you thoughts and prayers. And for those of you who have served us, I thank you. All the best. And I'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.